I have to admit, I'm one of those big thinker type people. You got to think big before you can bring your thoughts down to the smallest levels. So you can try to figure out why the fuck, okay? Because nothing works in the United States. So I started looking at stuff. They say that there's 332 million people in the United States, okay? Of the 332 million, you have to subtract out the things they don't even give two shits about, which is you get about 500,000 homeless people. You got about 500,000 missing, the missing people, missing person statistics continuously, it's an ongoing occurrence. You got to subtract out the 1 mil that's sitting in prison for good and valid reasons and for a lot of bogus ass reasons based on society's tweaked out minds. So then you get your numbers, subtract that out from the population. So this is the uh, don't give two shits about. That's the United States, okay? So that's the grouping they don't give two shits about, okay? So then we're looking at 330 mil. Okay, so then, I'm doing this one-handed, so if we look at the overall 330 million, okay? And in the center of this 330 million, which the United States only gives a shit about, which is the 18 mil, which is their government employees, okay? It's the only people they really give two fucking shits about. Everything they do operates around their security, not our security, okay? And we're forced through taxation to support these people as if they were made of gold or something, but they're just average Joes off the street placed in uniform and in various positions, and they really don't even, 90% of them can't fucking operate on a high scale level at all. They have like no morals, no ethics. They just do whatever the fuck they want to do, okay? Those are the people that the United States cares about the most. So then I like to do it like this, just to kind of like make this shit seem more like the reality, like teeth almost. They got 18 million people, they're saying. Keep in mind, the United States doesn't know how to fucking count, okay? So their numbers are, I would say they're highly understated as far as measured up against reality. They have yet to find any way to manage all moving parts, okay? They can't, there's no fucking way that this 330 million population in the United States is anywhere close to being accurate. It's highly understated, okay? But just using as an example, so the 18 mil are the government employees. Those are the ones that obviously the government cares about the government and the rest of us can go get fucking screwed, okay? Even though we're the ones forced through multiple channels of taxation to support these people, in return we get absolutely fucking nothing, okay? And we're slaves. We are nothing more than slaves to these people right here. These are the slave owners, and we are slaves. You have to start putting things in perspective, okay? If they're not working in your best interest, if they're working, if their intent is to hurt you, to harm you, to make your life difficult, they are the slave owners and we are the fucking slaves. So get it all in perspective here. Start to wake up on the right channels, okay? So these little designs, almost like teeth, represent there's only 1 million, believe it or not, active military people. Active duty military that is required to defend the people against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That's 1 million people. So for every one active duty military member, they are responsible for the lives of 330 people, okay? Which is totally different. These people here that are highly protected by all the laws and the government and all that other shit, they're only responsible for protecting roughly 18 people, okay? Because if you say 18 times 18, you're going to get like 324, close a fucking enough, okay? Million. So they're only responsible for, in all reality, per one government employee, highly paid, highly compensated, way more than any military member ever seen. And these people are, getting fringe benefits up the wazoo and treated like they're some gold statue, untouchable, okay? They're only, in all reality, they're responsible for 18 people, safeguarding 18 people. Well, those 18 fucking people could be their wife, their kids, their mother, their father, blah, 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 okay? Where the likelihood that one military member, active duty military member, has 330 in today's world family members still alive, not separated, not scattered throughout the United States under some bogus law bullshit, where they love the separation shit. It's highly unlikely that one active duty military member has 330 people in their family as of today. Family trees are a thing of the past. They're going bye-bye, okay? It's more likely that a government employee, highly paid, highly compensated, has 18 family members that's all they're responsible for taking care of. They're not responsible for the care or the concern for anybody outside of those 18 people, okay? Now, here's the other thing. Because this is how my mind works. I'm trying to figure out how the United States actually operates because they have no formal structure. They're all running around, clueless lunatics making up whatever policies on any given day that don't even, they don't revisit anything or, stretch across and say, oh shit, we already got funding for that. We just used it for something else. They just make shit up. Here's the other interesting fact. So, in with these homeless people, there's like 500, which again, this cannot be an accurate count of the actual numbers of homeless people as of today because it's increasing daily because of these people. They're judges, they're lawyers, they're cops, they're narcissists. Let's just, put it out there. They do not have your best interest at heart. They do not want to follow the administrative processes or steps embedded in the law to ensure that they're treating people equally and, they're not using their prejudicenesses against people. So in this 500K homeless people, there is about 50,000 homeless military veterans, which they have to date throughout all history, they have yet to find or discover or develop any type of safety net to ensure that military veterans don't end up homeless, okay? They still cannot solve a problem. These people that are highly paid and highly compensated cannot, they're incapable of solving fucking problems, okay? They have no wherewithal. They're not they're not groomed, they're not educated, they don't have the mental capacity to solve a problem, but they are highly paid and highly compensated, okay? Military veterans, there's about 17 million, okay? And yes, so there's, of that 17 million, a little leave. See you later. Of that 17 million, there's about 50,000 that are homeless. Military veterans were previously active military. When active military finishes their term, they're returning to civilian life, they go through debriefing. And part of that debriefing that is not even recognized or knowledge or holds no knowledge within this grouping of government employees is that we are told in that debriefing process that if we, based on what we learned in the military and what was drilled into us about being watchful for enemies, foreign and domestic, if you have concerns, you're supposed to raise them up to these people, okay? And they're supposed to take your concerns seriously. They do not. They automatically classify you as mental, okay? That's the first thing they do. But how it's really supposed to work is, first of all, your military is not supposed to be decreased like it is. But it is. There's, for every one active duty military member, the weight on their shoulders is 330 people. And these people so this is your defense. These people are supposed to be your offense. And military veterans are supposed to be operating almost like if they see what the active military are doing or the signaling that goes from the defense, they're supposed to act like, like they're supposed to intercept messages, which not, it's not that they're being paid to do that. It's just intuitively, because they were active duty military, they can read things different than these people on a protection scale. So they typically intercept, through reading newspapers, through research and stuff, they can tell, what's coming our way. And when they go to these people to let, to try to raise concerns like fraud, waste, and abuse, like me with a national debt, I'm concerned about the national debt. Everybody should be concerned about the national debt. The increase in taxation, people are, struggling right now so that they can't they can't make the ends meet. And before all this 9/11 bullshit, we still couldn't make the ends meet. We were all working more than one job trying to make the ends meet, and still there's no fucking relief, okay? So if by the nature of the thorn, a military veteran watches the communication that goes from the defense to our offensing, and they see that these nut jobs right here, these knuckleheads, these nut jobs, these uncaring, self-centered, narcissistic type of people aren't getting a clear-cut message of the threats that are out here, and they catch They catch the signaling and try to bring it in to protect the 330 people and work collectively with the Defense Department. And then they're labeled as mental. They're pushed to the lines of suicide. And, all the while, these nimrods are getting funding for all this from the federal government on prevention lines. And then they're building graveyards and memorials, and they're not actually helping military veterans. And then, if you don't feel like committing suicide, they're like, okay, well, now you're homeless. We're done dealing with you. That's how it works. That is fucking how it works. We got populations, pockets of people that are homeless, missing, and in prison that nobody gives two flying fucks about, which pisses me off because even the people sitting in prison shouldn't be sitting in prison. People that can't, because of the fluctuations in our economy, the number of businesses that are filing bankruptcy today, can't hold a job to pay fucking child support. They shouldn't be sitting in fucking prison, okay? They should be getting some type of assistance. I don't care what it is to help them with employment that's a better use of time. And meanwhile, these fucktards are fucking supporting illegals. That's what it blows my mind. Are you going after their countries for some fucking child support for their entrance into the United States? It so blows my mind that these idiotic, zero-brained, dysfunctional, just plain fucking idiots can't step up and get on board with what's going on. They just can't do it. They're so fucking lacking in every fucking area of what is required to prove that this is actually a country and not some misfit toy island of screwballs. I just, I really want to just, I'm so fucking pissed off that this is the United States. And we were all led to believe that there was a solid structure and none of the shit that does happen can't happen. Because, oh, well, we can catch it before it actually happens. Bull fucking shit. Bull fucking shit. Oh my God, look at this guy. Look at him. He just keeps coming back to me. What is your deal, man? Look at him. All right. He's been in here, I don't know how many times visiting with me. And then I kick him out and he comes right back. Get over here. I don't know what your deal is with me. Come on. Get up there. Come on. He's a big fucker, man. Get on this page and represent those nut jobs. Come on. There he goes. He'll be back. People need to start cluing in. I don't even know what it's going to take to change this. Their mission is to level and lower every one of us. I mean, I'm sure they would love it if we were all in prison so that they could control every aspect of our lives. But it's like I want to make a change for my grandchildren. I already got fucked over in this lifetime. Got my life erased by Livingston County. But, I'm still out here fighting for my grandchildren. I'll be goddamn if I don't fucking stand up somehow and fucking fight for their future. And if they decide to have children, which I would strongly recommend not, don't get married and don't think about having children the way the world is today. But somebody needs to make a major push to shut this pathetically immature, sick, twisted mindset that is going on with these government employees. Write the fuck down. They need to be drug tested. They need to go through psychological evaluations. They need to be tested on narcissistic type personalities, multiple personalities. There needs to be drug, alcohol screening on a regular basis. And they need to be held accountable. They are getting paid tons and tons of money to destroy our lives. I have never met a government employee that actually cares about people. I've never met one. I've never met a police officer that gives two shits about somebody. I've never met a judge that gives two shits about anybody other than his chosen people. I've never met a social worker or anybody that works for the government. For the most part, they love to commit fraud by fucking shit up. Even if you tell them that's not my date of birth, they're still going to write it down wrong because that's how they justify their job security. And it's so fucked up. So take a look at this. I'm at the high level looking down going, where the fuck are we? And if this is not a real country, then land needs to go up on a bidding block, and somebody needs to take control and put strong structures in place. All they care about is their family. 18 million government employees. It's like a network. They're only responsible for the care of 18 people, typically their family members, where the Defense Department, for every active duty military personnel, they are responsible for 330 lives. It's not right. It's unfair. Those are the people that should be the highly paid and highly compensated individuals, not these dumb fucks that just can't get it.